We continue this series of videos on the volume relative strength indicator for MT4 with a very simple example of how we combine the indicator with our base methodology, which is volume price analysis. And if you're not familiar with volume price analysis, you can find all the details and many of the books that Anna's written over on her site at https://annacooling.com, where you'll find all the details. And all the books are available on Amazon, either in Kindle format or also in paperback, and increasingly we've also developed them in color and hardback as well. So there's a whole range of books there. Introducing the methodology and also examples books for stocks, for forex, and all the markets are covered. So here what we're looking at is a single time frame with the upper level being our VRSI indicator, and the level at the bottom is simply our regular volume, by which we interpret the volume price analysis signals. And the two are very complementary, and this is a point I've made several times before, in that when we analyze volume and price, what we look at are very simple things, such as the height of one volume bar in relation to the price bar, the height of a volume bar in relation to its neighbor or a group of bars associated close by, which gives us an indication of where we have rising price and rising volume, that signals strength increasingly, and where we have a falling market with rising volume, the same thing. We have momentum, particularly if we have increasing spreads. So all of those things we look at in the relationship between volume and price, and the VRSI indicator we look at in the same way. We look at the height of the volume bars, which I'm sure you're familiar with now if you've watched the earlier videos. They are absolutely key because they signal the pressure that is developing within the trend itself. Because at the end of the day, what we want as traders, we want to maintain a position in a trend. We either want to get in somewhere. More importantly, though, once we're in, we want to maintain that position. And that's the hardest thing to do. And if we have help and a confidence builder, which is what the VRSI indicator gives us, it gives us confidence to hold through those little pullbacks, little reversals that we see all the time in any trend. No trend goes up or down in a straight line. It's always having pullbacks and reversals. And that's what the VRSI indicator does, amongst other things. But it gives us primarily this very strong view, this colorful, intuitive view of the strength of the pressure in a trend. Because if a trend is going to move strongly, then that's what we want to be involved with. We don't want to get into weak trends. And those weak trends, if you look over to the left-hand side of this chart, for example, the weakness there is very clear, both to the upside and the downside. And it's clear purely by virtue of looking at the height of those volume, the VRSI bars there. Very small, very tiny. So it's telling you there's really no pressure in this trend. There's no strength in this trend developing. It's not, the bars are not widening dramatically. They're just all pretty much the same size. They change in color a little bit here and there, but essentially they're very small. It's only when we get a quarter of the way into the price chart that we start to see that trend develop. And that trend, the strength in that trend is demonstrated by, if we look at volume and the VRSI in conjunction, what we see is rising price and rising volume on our volume price analysis methodology. And that is also denoted by our relative strength indicator, which is telling us the same thing. It's colored yellow. The volume bars there are rising also. So the two are confirming, if you like, that what we're seeing is exactly what we want to see, a strong trend developing with good volume and good relative volume as well. So the two really do combine. They are sister relationships, sister indicators, if you like, or sister methodologies, if you like to put it that way. We then see the little pause point, and then we then continue on. We get an injection of volume. And almost in the middle there, we see a classic example of weakness starting to develop purely through the prism of volume price analysis, because we see a very tall volume bar, but the price action has not moved to the extent that we would expect it to, given our benchmarking ability with other volume bars associated with price bars. So clearly that's anomalous. There's a lot of volume going in other words, a lot of effort going in, but the result is not as we would expect. And that is the precursor to the slowing of that trend. It's the initial signal that we would see. And that then is represented with our volume bars falling away. And on our VRSI indicator, you can see they also decline. The height of them declines. And we move back to the fulcrum, at which point we start to oscillate around the fulcrum. And it's only the mirror reversal, if you like, where we get into the downwards trend, where we see an injection of volume, an injection of pressure, and that signals our move to the downside. So this is a really elegant way, if you like, of combining VRSI with our VPA methodology and using the two. The one underpins the other. Volume price analysis methodology is our base methodology, is our core foundation methodology. And then on top of that, we overlay the VRSI indicator itself, which gives us a different perspective. Because remember, it is looking at relative strength of volume. So it's another volume indicator, but looking at volume in a very different way through the relative nature of volume, and through that interpretation, the pressure that is being applied or developing within the trend. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Lots more to come as always. Thanks for watching. See you soon, and bye for now.